Customs and traditions in Japan. Japan is characterized by a set of customs and traditions that reflect the nature of its society and the quality of its culture acquired from agricultural life, which represents the integration between public and private spheres. Welcome to your channel, Educate in Minutes. Regardless of the nature of the manifestations and consequences of Japanese culture, negative or positive. However, they all reflect the nature of Japanese civilization in many aspects, such as their social orientations, avoiding expressing their feelings, and ambiguity in clarifying their ideas. Below is a group of the most important customs and traditions that characterize the Japanese. Greeting customs. Bowing is one of the most famous and important ways of greeting in Japan. The Japanese bow when speaking on the phone in order to greet the person they are talking to on the other end. It is noteworthy that using a handshake in greeting is not a common custom in Japan, but it is acceptable when dealing with foreign individuals and between women and men, and the Japanese avoid kissing or hugging while greeting. Punctuality. The Japanese care about time and timing. All Japanese tasks and activities are carried out according to an arranged schedule and predetermined dates, so arriving at an appointment after the agreed-upon time is considered an inappropriate act. If any accident occurs that prevents arriving at the meeting or meeting time, the late person must call quickly and offer an appropriate apology. Determine a new time for the meeting or arriving at the meeting. Food culture. Food and food culture are among the basic concerns of the Japanese people. For their food, they depend on eating grains such as rice, meat such as chicken and cow, and marine creatures such as fish. The Japanese also eat seasonal vegetables, milk, and its derivatives. The Japanese often use bamboo chopsticks to eat their food, while they eat fast food, sushi, and bread with their hands. They also use ordinary kitchen utensils such as spoons and knives when eating meals of Western origins. One of the Japanese eating habits that indicate good behavior is carrying salad, soup, and rice dishes with the left hand. The Japanese eat soup directly without using spoons. Religious beliefs. The people of Japan do not care about religious matters and beliefs. Most of them do not follow a specific religion, but the religions of Shintoism and Buddhism are still spreading among the Japanese, and these two religions constitute the culture of society in Japan. Shintoism is considered a traditional Japanese religion, relying on ancient spiritual practices, and during the 7th and 6th centuries AD, the Buddhist religion spread in Japanese society. As a result of its influence on Chinese society, the Japanese accepted Buddhism without abandoning Shintoism, and the two religions have continued to coexist to this day. Marriage traditions. Japan is distinguished by its own marriage traditions. The Japanese marriage system separates the property of the wife and her husband. That is, the husband's property remains separate from his wife's property after their marriage, and the marriage often takes place relying on the method of mediation in marriage. That is, the style of matchmaking in Arab society, and the marriage broker must take into account major matters, such as the age of the spouses and the financial and social status of both families. As for Japanese marriage traditions, they are implemented in a Shinto temple, and begin with the bride and her groom drinking sake, which is a drink made from rice, and it is considered the national Japanese drink. As for the rest of the marriage ceremonies, it takes place in one of the halls specialized in wedding parties. Family traditions. The Japanese family represents a single system that does not accept any division. The Japanese do not pay any attention to the necessity of a blood relationship between the people who make up the family. Rather, what is important is to maintain its continuity, and among the traditions of inheritance in the Japanese family is the event of the death of a person who has no heirs. For his property, he must adopt a family member and give him his name, so that he can obtain all inheritance rights. This is in order to maintain integrity with the traditions that care about the continued existence of the family in Japan. Death traditions. After the family of the deceased person obtains a certificate proving his death, they must contact the person responsible for the procedures for preparing the funeral and cremating the deceased. And among the traditions followed in cases of death in Japan, mourning participants wear dark-colored clothing. It is preferable for women to wear the traditional Japanese kimono in black. Japanese customs stipulate that mourners must provide gifts to the family of the deceased.